It is freezing. It is freezing in my house. It won't warm up. I don't know why. Let's have a catch-up. Movie catch-up. Not done one of these since September, have we? I've been busy. I've been working on a new fiction book. It's called The Strange Diary of Flintlock Edge. It is cosmic horror, a little bit cosmic horror, kind of folk horror a little bit as well. I'm really, really happy with this one. I wrote it very quickly. I should be finished copying up in the next few days. It's a short novel, but I'm really happy with it. But let's have our movie catch up. Yeah, I've not had one for a while. My letterboxd is currently open on Fires Were Started, a British propaganda film from 1943 about firemen in the Blitz. It's sort of about, it's about firemen during the Blitz. It's kind of like documentary style. It's interesting as a period piece. Not sure it's a film you'd watch for entertainment value these days, but no, I found it an enjoyable little watch, actually. I found it interesting, but then again, I am a historian, so I am probably more inclined to find films like that interesting than probably the majority of people. Skinamarink. Oh, lordy, 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 Skinamarink. I'm pretty sure this is the most pointless film ever made. It says it's a horror film, right? But the majority of the shots are like close-ups of walls and carpets and empty hallways in the dark, and occasionally you hear like a little noise, a child going, "Daddy, Daddy, where are you, Daddy? Daddy, where are you, Daddy?" And there's no plot, there's no character. It is so totally pointless, and you have to ask yourself, oh, people are calling this the scariest film ever made, by the way. I have seen reviews which call this the scariest film ever made. The only scary part is that this ever got any attention in the first place. And the fact that someone thought it would be a good idea to make this movie. Let us move on. Eddington. Total mess. Complete lack of direction, complete lack of... I rated this one half a star. Just because it starts off being this sort of COVID drama about a community during COVID, but then it becomes sort of this sort of Coen Brothers type comedy about a mayor and the police sheriff competing in an election, and then it becomes a thriller, and then it goes into a weird ending, and then totally baffling and out of place epilogue. Not good. It's Ari Aster, and if you've seen my Picture House Film Club video, you'll know what I thought of Hereditary, because yeah, I didn't like that either. And as I think I said in that video, it seems like Ari Aster is one of those directors who hasn't left the film school mindset behind him. He's all about imposed meaning and symbolism, and yeah, meaning, symbolism, it's one way of looking at film. It's one way of making a film. Art. Film is art. Perfectly valid. But film is so much more than that. And I don't think Ari Aster, if he wants to be a populist filmmaker, he needs to grasp that concept, and I don't think he has. Sorry, popular filmmaker, not populist filmmaker. There's a bit of a difference there. Signs and Wonders, one I watched in September. This is on the 1001 movies list. It's the least popular film on that list. And you have to ask yourself why. Why the hell is this film on that list? It is... There are 1001 better made movies. Who's actually choosing this obscure piece of nothing from the year 2000? This film which a majority of people, ordinary filmgoers, cinema enthusiasts, critics, probably have never heard of. In fact, this is one of the few films I reviewed in the last few months. I said, shut up, Weather. All the quality of a cheap TV special and a poor man's imitation of a Nick Rogue film. Neither fun nor entertaining. Battleship Potemkin, I watched that at the cinema. It had a soundtrack by the Pet Shop Boys. And it's a silent film. And this soundtrack was, I think, one they made for a special screening like 20 years ago. And now they've released it properly. And it doesn't suit the film at all. It's very jarring, it's very out of place. It's a very inappropriate score, I found. It didn't match the film either. And when you're composing for a silent film, you have to match what's on the screen. If you want a good silent film score, it's got to be in sync with the visuals. And this just wasn't. Life of Chuck, loved this film. Weapons. I enjoyed it, but there were parts of it I didn't like. I think the script needed a bit of work before they actually made it. It needed slimming down a bit because, yeah, there was stuff in there that didn't make a lot of sense. Stuff that maybe could have been trimmed. And tonally as well, especially at the end, I thought, yeah, it's a bit all over the place. Nevertheless, I did enjoy that one. The Vault. For some reason this was on my watch list. I honestly don't know why I put it on my watch list. It's from 2021. It's a heist movie. I think it's got Freddie Highmore in it, actually. Yeah, and a few other people. Sam Riley as well, I think, is in this. I said in my review, totally stupid concept with regards to the actual vault, and there's more than a few plot holes in there, but as a goofy way to spend a couple of hours, I actually liked it. And yeah, it's goofy, it's flawed, the plot is nonsense, it's nonsensical, but it's a fun throwback heist movie. And yes, it's been done before, that kind of thing, we've seen it before, but it doesn't take itself too seriously, and yeah, I found it a likeable film. Breakfast on Pluto with Cillian Murphy. I've been making my way through Neil Jordan's filmography this year. I also filmed a film club picture house for Halloween. I did Interview with the Vampire. But guess who forgot to upload the video? And didn't realise until they were 100 miles away in Cardiff without their laptop. Me. So, I'm going to release that next year instead. Provided, as often happens, the flash drive doesn't decide to die within the next year. But anyway, Breakfast on Pluto. Cillian Murphy plays a trans person looking for their mother. Really affecting film, I found. Really powerful film, in a way. I think it's a film that needs to be watched. Of course, the problem with it is that Cillian Murphy is not a trans person, and these days, I think, yes, that kind of role should have gone to a trans person, but, you know, Cillian Murphy's still great in it. It's still worth watching. It's very worth watching. I watched the 1965 Tokyo Olympiad. Again, this is from the 1001 Movies, and again, I'm not sure why this is in the book. The House That Dripped Blood. Right, this is one of those anthology horror films, British anthology horror films from the 1970s. And all the stories in this one involve a house. And basically horrible things happen to people who live in the house. One of them is, I think, Peter Cushing, one of them is John Pertwee, and one of them's Christopher Lee. And Christopher Lee's character, he hires a tutor to homeschool his creepy daughter. And I was thinking, at this point, there's like an interview scene between like Christopher Lee and the tutor. And if I went into an interview for a teaching job, right, a private tuition job, and Christopher Lee was there, saying, "Hello, I'd like you to teach my daughter some history, James," I'd be like, "Yeah, no thanks, mate, I'll leave it for now, thanks." I'd be getting the flip out of there, because no way would I be teaching anything to Christopher Lee's creepy daughter. The Long Walk. Oh, I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed this one a lot. It got me thinking. The plot is basically, there's this, it's a dystopian America, hard to believe, I know, and every year they pick, like, a young man from each state, and they gather them all up in one place, and they say, okay, you're going to walk down this road at a continuous pace of 3 miles an hour, and if you drop below 3 miles an hour, you get a warning. Drop below again, you get a second warning. If you get 3 warnings, you are then shot. It is a brutal, horrific, oh so, please don't use the word compelling, James. I'm trying to think of another word. A synonym for compelling. I can't think of one. But yes, it got me thinking. Okay, how far would I make it? this situation. Definitely not to the end, no, because, like, my knees would give out at some point. And I'd be, like, just lying on the floor, and then the soldiers would come along going, "First warning, second warning, 1025, final warning." And then, but how far would I actually make it? I think I'd make it into the top half, yeah, the top 25, but I don't think I'd make it all the way, and I don't think I'd be, like, first off. Maybe I'd be like the guy who ends up screaming, "It's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair!" Maybe. Probably. I'd definitely go out screaming, I think. Oh, we're up to... Oh, the ninth configuration. Go and watch this film. This film is amazing. The ninth configuration. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Slow, contemplative, not a lot happens, but the songs make it worth watching. So with this next film, my review was that it is a bigger pile of garbage than that load of plastic floating around the Pacific. Apparently this film is really, really super popular. A lot of people love this film. And I can't understand why. You want to know what it is, boys and girls? You want to know what it is? Because I really, really hated this film. I really hated this film. I could feel my brain melting the longer this film went on. It made absolutely no sense. The plot was... It was both generic and mind-numbingly stupid. I think that this is going amongst my worst movies of all time. You wanna know what it is? Well, you'll have to wait till the end of year film review in poetry to find out. No. K-pop Demon Hunters. I watched this film to see what the fuss was about. I absolutely despised it. Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro. Really enjoyed this, yeah. The closest adaptation to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein we've had probably ever. But then again, it's simultaneously not a close adaptation. It definitely does the book justice. And I think this is going to be the adaptation on which future adaptations are, judged against. Bambi, The Reckoning. This is one of those, they call it the Pooniverse now. Yeah, like a couple of years ago we had Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, then Blood and Honey 2. This is like a film set in the same sort of universe where, popular children's characters are actually bloodthirsty psychopaths. And gotta say, the first Blood and Honey film was enjoyable. It wasn't a great movie, but it was enjoyable. The second one was very enjoyable. I think as they go along, these films are slowly finding their feet, and I had a great, fantastic time with this one. Basically, it's a creature feature. It's a bunch of people in the woods at night being hunted by a bloodthirsty deer, and there's gruesome deaths, which is always a bonus in horror films, It doesn't take itself seriously. Again, it's just a bit of fun, and sometimes that's what you want from a film. How to Train Your Dragon, the remake. I've filmed a proper review for this one, so I will. So I won't mention that one for now. Okay, two more films. Firstly, let's talk about Wicked for Good. This is based on the second act of the musical, right? And often the problem with like musicals is like the second act is often the weaker act, right? It's got the less good songs in there. It's more plot driven. It's not as fun as the first half. And I think this is definitely the case with Wicked, I found. I didn't find the songs as enjoyable. I didn't find the plot as interesting. But still a fantastic film. It runs rings around most of what I've seen this year. Probably not going to be my favourite film of the year, but you know, one I actually did enjoy. And I gotta say as well, For Good, the song which comes up at the end, that got me. And it got me for a very, very specific reason. One which I'm not going to go into now, but it hit me like a ton of flipping bricks. And I could barely hold myself together because of the reason, which I'm not going to mention now. And the last film, Lily's Not For Me, which is a queer film set in the 1920s, and you've got this queer couple, and they're living in this cottage, and one of them's a doctor, and he comes across this article saying they've found a cure for being gay, and he says, well, I want to take this cure. I want to have this cure. And the other guy's a bit well, why would you want to do that? What? Why do you want to be cured of being gay? And there's a bit of conflict between them, and eventually this guy does have the cure, but then someone else turns up at the cottage, and the other guy starts having a bit of a flirtatious romance with this new guy, and the other guy's still there at this point. He's planning to move out, but he starts getting a bit jealous. And I won't say any more than that, but yes. What scared me about this film was that there are people out there who still think you can cure being gay. There are still people out there who think that queerness is a disease. And that's scary. And I'd say to these people, no. Just stop. No. Because it's not a disease. There's no cure for being gay because there is nothing to cure. Because being gay is not up here. It's in here. It's in the soul. It's woven throughout us, throughout our entire body. Being gay is a part of who we are, and you cannot ever change that. that's all I've got for you this month. Should we have a catch up again? Couple of months? End of December? Whenever I decide to do another release? Cool. Hopefully it'll be warmer.